And we're back again with Going Corn. This is going to be week number 3's recap and week number 4's preview. Yeah, Caleb, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. Anyway.
It's on the sometimes, Greg.
Hi,
I'm back.
Hi. Anyway, let me
back.
Introduce the co-host.
The man who needs no introduction. Caleb Young.
The water to my lemon.
Oh, nice.
Do you like that one?
The sweet and sour mix to your tequila lila.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, a little margarita.
No thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's just recap kind of the week to get it going. Another fun week here in Leroy. Narwhals got their first win. The revamped team.
You're going to get tested
Almost
for
won
PEDs.
Too. Yeah, I know, right?
No, I'm serious.
Oh,
you getting injections or what?
Injections? No.
Or did you just eat your Wheaties?
I just stretched out a little bit more.
Oh, he stretched. It was the stretching for all our listeners. Greg stretched and hits 4 homers. Greg in 1 week cumulatively hit more homers than he had in
the first 2 seasons combined.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had only actually hit 1. And just so if you're unaware and listening to this, you weren't there to see it all. I hit all 4 of them. I did not take 25 pitch home runs. I was close, though.
We're going to need to go to the tape on that.
I almost did on 1, though. It was like 20-1, and I'm like, I'll just take the triple.
You'll take the triple. You played it safe.
I'll lead the league in triples by the
end.
No,
you're not.
I know Sam is right now. But.
Sammy Stahl. But yeah, it was an action-filled week. Probably one of the most anticipated weeks we've had after all the moves that were made.
Yeah, it was a big move week. We recorded the show and then just like everything happened. Like
everything went downhill at that point.
There's so many moves, and we'll kind of talk about the rosters now as they look because we had some more moves yesterday. With few moves being made there.
Yep.
So let's just go to the recap of the week. Let's see. So we had in the 6 o'clock we had the Truckers and the Liners. They won. Liners won 4-1 on Harambe there.
Liner up.
Yep. Bombers Narwhals, we won 13-8 there.
Yep.
Pretty good showing from everyone. Like I said, that was a game I had 3 in, so that was helpful there. Sluggers and Sultans of Soy, close game, 7-8. Sultans taking that one. And then Hawaiians and Sliders. Hawaiians win 4-1. And then Badgers Dusters. Badgers win 4-1 on that one as well.
And then moving into the 7:30 games, the Clams and the Truckers. The Clams welcome back Austin Gibson after being gone the first 2 weeks. Austin with a $40-something salary looked really good in his debut. They won 7-5. We took our first L on Wrigley. The Sliders beat the Liners 8-4. Fuck you, John. Piece of shit. Why didn't you fucking stay in Michigan? We're going to keep my thoughts to myself on that one.
Well, you didn't, but... Oh, he's sad. He is sad that
I'm angry.
He had to come back.
Yeah, the Sliders won 8-4. The Badgers and Narwhals. The Badgers put up a crooked number against Greg's Narwhals. It wasn't too noble.
We were leading the game going into the 5th inning.
What was the score?
It was 5-3 Narwhals.
They put up 12 in the 5th on you?
No. They scored 4. We scored 2 more to make it 7-7, go into extras, and then they max run me.
And then the floodgates opened.
Well, when my arm's falling off and you can't see anything, and the ball just apparently was being hit out every other batter, That's about basically how it happened. They get a single home run, single home run, single home run.
A lot of excuses.
Feldy was
from
on that
Narwhal's
team,
A lot of
and
excuses.
Brian. That's all right. I'm not. That was a close game. I'm just saying that
You played
numbers,
them tough. That's a good team. You played
I mean,
them
that
tough.
that game was a lot closer than the score looks.
Listen, you have a lot to be encouraged with after that third week.
But anyway,
It's huge.
keep moving. We'll
Okay.
talk about that in a second.
Sluggers and the Dusters. Sluggers won 5-1, and then
2 losses for the Dusters.
for the Dusters.
2 runs scored in 2 games.
For the Dusters. And then the Sultans of Soy knocked off the Flying Hawaiians
in a shutout.
in a shutout.
3-0.
So kind of a funky week. New players coming around. Teams starting to figure out their rosters. What was the theme that you saw this week?
The same kind of stuff as the first couple, you know. Some teams kind of balancing out a little bit. You losing your first game. I think Caleb almost fell off the wagon there after that game. He's about ready to dump himself off the team. So, but yeah, it was another good hitting week. The wind wasn't much of a factor. PNC had a lot of wind tunnel, but like just to one part of it. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of the same stuff. I mean, Sluggers are still looking good. Sultans are kind of middle of the road, I think. They're kind of balancing out because I think Lucas, I don't know how he did in that game, but anyway, so I mean, that's kind of what I saw. What do you think about some of this stuff?
I think we're entering probably the toughest time of the year for owners, specifically because you're getting 3 weeks now into it, and you're starting to get a decently clear sense of what players are, what they can do, what they're capable of. And the tough thing is, while 3 weeks gives you a good amount of time, it's also not an incredibly large sample size. So if those players haven't been coming consistently and they haven't been able to get into flow, it's tough to judge. So what's really going to start to show and is going to be difficult for owners is the moves that they're going to make. Jared made a crucial move to pick up Kyle Schaff, and then who ended up
he dropped him for So here's the trade. Narwhals and Badgers made a trade. Schaff got traded. Yeah. That's new too. Jeremiah got dropped from my team, and then so did Kyle Jansma.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up Schaff and Bazia.
Yep.
And then I traded now Schaff for Brian Travis.
Yep.
So Brian Travis, Jackson, myself, and Wiz are on the team, and the Badgers got Schaff, dropped him for whatchamacallit? For Shane.
For Shane,
God.
right.
Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, so you've seen it, and there's a lot of more stuff happening, but owners are now having to try and juggle. And the interesting thing that we're going to see, that we saw this past week and that we'll probably see going forward, is what moves are going to be made, because next week we go to expanded
Next
rosters.
week's big, yeah. And
So-
we'll talk about that in the question bag a little bit more too. Somebody asked a question about expanded rosters, but
Right.
yeah, it's gonna be a crazy. And we're playing tomorrow. The show's being recorded Monday,
Right.
and hopefully getting this out as soon as possible here.
Right.
But yeah, it should be done. Or we're playing tomorrow because the rain is supposed to come down because of that hurricane.
Right.
It's supposed to pass through on Wednesday only. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's gonna be a big factor. But yeah, whoever can show up this week. I mean, if some of these free agents can come up and
Yeah.
show up, and the way the expanded roster is going to work is going to be a big thing. So we'll see how that kind of works out. So
I think one more thing that is important to note that we're starting to see develop is you're starting to see a bigger bridge between your top guys, your middle of the road guys, and then your
Mhm.
below average guys. Because right now you're starting to see clearly the weaknesses in some of these squads. I mean, this will be the last week where you can really disguise it, only having 3 there. But there are a few teams right now that are able to hide certain people and certain things from a talent perspective, but give it about one more week, and then people that aren't able to have a solid 1 through 4 where their pitching is going to struggle, it's going to make a big difference, and we'll see what teams are going to be able to cope with that. So moving on, we're going to make a quick transition. We're going to go to our matchups and our predictions for next week.
Yep. So you want to do the 6 o'clock games?
Sure. So 6:15, your TV game on Harambe, which me and Jay Dex, one of the killer Jays, Jay Deckingo, Justin, if you don't know him, will be on the mic. The Clams versus the Hawaiians. What do you see in this one?
Clams, Hawaiians. I see Clams. Well, and that's a big thing too. Is we'll see. Hopefully we don't have the lineups, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I don't think he'll have anyone. But is Austin going to be there? Do you think? Because this week he said he made the rule that you only have to have 2 people that play when we don't play on Wednesdays. Still be the same salary hits. So I think if it's just him and Schaff, I don't know how that'll look, if he's got free agents or what. But it's kind of hard to tell just with everything. But I see I don't know. I actually might see the Clams losing this one.
Okay.
Just depends on Verlon's still looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Sam's doing his normal pitching thing.
Right.
If Tucker's there, he just got picked up by the Hawaiians last week. If he's there, I don't know if he will be because he's voted for Thursday on the thing. So I don't know if he's got a thing tomorrow, but we'll see.
Yep.
But I feel
as of right now,
Hawaiians
I just got a
could pull that
text
one
from
out.
Matt. Matt says it's going to be right now him and Schaff.
Okay.
So he'll have to pick up a third free agent.
Mm-hmm.
So, and depending on who that person is, this one is a toss-up for me. I think it's going to be depending on the Clams free agent. If the Clams get a good free agent, I think they pull this one out.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next 6 o'clock game, we have the Noble Narwhals on the road against the Diamond Dusters.
On PNC yet again. Keep playing on a stupid field. I did hit 3 home runs, so maybe that'll
be the spot. Greg, your team will be...
my team's going to be Jackson, Brian Travis, and myself. And then if everything works out the way it's supposed to, I would get, if you have a third person, I would get that third person, whether it be James or Jason, I don't know.
Okay.
But so, yeah, that's going to be the squad. I don't know if Friedman's coming out. I know Tapper will usually be out. So.
Taps will be out there. Yeah, I think with that team specifically, Jackson and Brian are going to get more at bats. I think the Narwhals pull through with that one against the Dusters on PNC.
I'm hoping for another good game. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
So,
on Wrigley, the Badgers against the Sliders.
The upswing Sliders.
The upswing, yeah. We'll see who the Sliders are able to take in for a lineup perspective. I know the Badgers, Jared has communicated he'll have his team there. I think this one all depends on the wind. If the wind's blowing out, I think the Badgers could have this one get ugly.
Yeah. That's always the factor with Wrigley. Is like, what is it going to be? Wind blowing in, wind blowing out. But if John's there, that's going to be a big factor for the Sliders, as you saw against yourself. I mean, he's a big X factor. I mean, Sliders won a game because of that. So,
right.
And he pitched 2 innings against you, right? Also,
John did.
Yeah.
No, he pitched 1.
Oh, did he? Okay.
But I mean, he looked really freaking good when he pitched. So, yeah.
So I have Badgers winning that.
If the wind's blowing out, the Badgers. If the wind's blowing in, I think the Sliders can play a little chippy, and they could pull one out there.
Good analysis.
The Truckers and the Sluggers on Fenway.
With the newly dropped, controversial Grant Reinhardt's been dropped for Vogus.
Get him a refund.
Vogus.
Get him a refund.
Get him a refund.
Grant wants his money back.
I'd say you gotta give the jersey back though. So if he signs Kyle at some point, he could use it for him.
Louise. The Truckers now are looking at a lineup of Jack, Vogus.
That's a lot better team though.
Tim and Neil. Now, Tim said he has 3, so most likely Jack won't be there. So that team is going to be Vogus, Tim, and Neil against Eric, Garrett.
He's probably got his full lineup.
Probably
there.
does, right? So in this one, without Jack, I mean, you're relying on Bogus, who Bogus is a good player. He's still new from the mound. I like Squints in this one to win against the Truckers.
Yeah. I think so too. I think Vogus can be that, number one type of guy that they were pitching wise that they didn't have from the beginning of the season, but we'll see. I think Sluggers will pull this one out. And then last game,
6:15, Sultans of Soy. They're on the road against the Corn Bombers,
Oof.
the declining Corn Bombers. It'll be Brett, Jake. Hopefully, Brett can get one more to come out. Robbie, Lucas will be able to make it, and then
is Colin still out on the boat or something?
I don't know where Colin is.
What about Saitama?
Brett always finds a way come playoff time to have his team, so I'm not gonna sit there and ever count him out. But I don't know
But
if
if
you
he's
hit
in the death bracket. Yeah, it was a hard fought game still.
Yeah,
but it's just not a full lineup there as
Right.
it has been in the past. If Colin was there, it'd be different. But,
right.
That's why I think he's kind of banking. That's why I think he's had a real rough start.
Yeah,
Is he needs Colin as that bat in the lineup,
yeah,
and he can throw hard enough. Then I think he showed us in the playoffs that he can get outs. So
yeah.
that'll be something to watch there. All right,
Who do you got? Sultans or Bombers?
Oh, Sultans or Bombers? I'm gonna say Sultans again. Bombers, especially if they don't have Colin there.
yeah,
If they had Colin, I'd say maybe, but if it's Robbie and Lucas is still struggling.
yeah,
But
yeah. He doesn't look great, that's for sure. But I mean, I think so too. If they get Colin, I think the Bombers pulling out. Brett and
Yeah.
Colin are too good. They need to get on a stride.
that's been a theme. That's gonna be a theme this week. It all depends on who those people can come, and we're speculating a lot, but it's just we don't have the lineups at 5:30 at night here
Right.
on Memorial Day Monday.
Right.
So, yeah. And then 7:30, we're going to go back to the Bombers and Dusters on Fenway. I think Dusters pull that one out. Or
Man, a lot of Bombers hate today from the
not-
Narwhal camp.
Actually, I don't know.
It's controversy.
No, I'll say Bombers win because the
Oh,
Dusters,
don't change your mind just because I said it.
Well, one of these teams, if the prediction was right from my 6 o'clock predictions, will go 0-2.
right.
If we win in the first matchup. So
Yeah. The Dusters.
well,
I don't know.
no, actually, I say the Bombers because if Reinhardt, if it's just Tapper and Marty and a free agent, I don't know who's.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Maybe they get. I know Joey Rivera said he could come. But,
one other person, yeah, potentially, but
yeah.
7:30 on Minute Maid.
Is going to be your team, the Liners versus the Clams. This is going to be a big game.
Yeah, really good game. I will have me, Jason, and Justin as my lineup. I'll have 3 there. And then the Clams.
Then you would get 1 from me if it works out.
Right, if that needs to happen. The Clams will for sure have Matt and Kyle Schaff there. Free agent TBD to be determined. This is all going to depend on Matt's free agent. I think me and Matt cancel out. I think Jason and Kyle cancel out. Justin, and then it's going to be the matchup of that other 3. So, I mean, if I can get a few slow pitch counts with the wind blowing out, I can do some damage. But
it should be a good matchup.
yeah, that one's up for grabs. So,
yes.
the Truckers against the Hawaiians on Wrigley. I don't think if the wind's blowing out on Wrigley, I don't think the Hawaiians have enough power.
I think Jack has a big game that game.
I don't think Jack's going to be there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But they do have Vogus. If Vogus and Neil can get going with the wind blowing out, I think the Truckers can beat the
Yeah, Neil
Hawaiians.
should be there because he doesn't have... Well, it's not Deacon Day anyway.
Right. Exactly. So that'll definitely be a good move for the Truckers. I think they beat the Hawaiians there.
And then Sultans and Badgers on PNC.
Yep.
I'm going to say the Sultans. Badgers need to lose one game here and there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if Jared's got his full team there, if Wes is going to show up, I mean, they're going to be really good. At home, especially on PNC, I've got the Badgers winning. And then Sluggers and Sliders on Harambe TV game.
Hosted by yours truly and Jackson Bazia.
The Narwhals. Squints. They'll pitch better. The wind's blowing in. They can put the ball in play. They're quicker. I think they win that one.
Yeah, same.
So those are our looks, what we're looking at for the 6:15 and 7:30 games. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back.
It's very long off camera.
And we're going to stick our hand into the question bag. We'll be
All
back
right.
in a bit.
See ya. And we're back from a very long and strenuous break there. Lots of stuff done in between. But anyway, so we're not going to do our free agent spotlight this week, just to keep things a little bit shorter for this show. We've already been talking for a little while, so want to kind of just go into the question bag, and that's how we're going to wrap things up today, I believe. So we got a few different questions from our Leroy chats here. So, first question, are you doing a show tonight? Yes. The answer is yes, Tim. We are doing a show. Anyway, so Warren Z, or Austin Warner,
One piece.
asks, I want to hear your guys' opinion on the best and worst move by an owner so far this season. I'll start it off. I think my trade was the worst move. Starting to
Of
think
Warren?
about that. Yeah. Traded Warren for
Yeah.
Wisniewski. But that's all right. You live and you learn, right?
Yeah.
What's your worst move by an owner?
I think Matt drafting Ashby.
Yeah, that's been pretty bad. It's hurt him on salary a couple times.
I think,
Because he
Or-
kind of relied on her, didn't he?
or yeah, even just like lack of making a move. And I don't know if Matt could have even made a move, but I mean, Ashby's cost him like what, $7?
Oh yeah, it's
$8.
been a few. Yeah.
So I mean, that's not even a point to make it out to be like, oh, this one's on Matt. But just think about what the Clams could do right now with that extra
yeah.
$8. You know what I mean?
They lost a lot of salary, just like me in the first couple weeks.
Right.
And now it's, if you look, so this week, owners only got 70 cents
Right.
from, which in the first couple weeks it was like $2 or $3.
Bucks, right.
So that's going to be a big thing playing in, because, that's why that I made that move for Travis, because he was $29. It's
Yeah.
like that's $4 extra sitting around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Ashby really fucked Matt. So that's been tough.
ayo.
Yeah, AO. But
Yeah. What would you say the best move is?
Impartially, I think Jason Hilligan's might have been
Oh, here we go.
for his price and what I think potentially he could do when he did on the mound this first week. I think he could be a really, really good pickup for me. I think Cameron Varlin for the Hawaiians is going to be a good pickup for Warner. I think that was a really smart move by him to
Yeah,
go
I
and get
think
him.
That's good to mention, because he dropped a lot of his, like he had put a lot of faith into these guys.
Right,
Said he was going to stick with them, and then
right.
from my perspective, I think this week it didn't work out, but I'm going to stick with same team, different person, Jim Tucker.
Yeah,
Me and him were talking about it, about potentially, he wanted him and he was afraid I was going to pick him up, so he tried to make some trades and stuff, but
yeah. I mean, and you with Bazia too, but I mean, when I think of good moves, it's somebody
well, if
doing
you think
something.
about it, look at Shane's salary. That's what I was getting at. So Shane's now $26. He was $40 sitting on the Hawaiians roster.
Right,
40.
right.
That's in, and so like for Austin, he took that opportunity of, okay, well, Tucker is a lot better pitcher than him and may not be as great of a hitter, but I mean, that's going to be a good
Right. Good move for him.
And I think it worked out for Shane, too. I
Yeah.
think he's on a better team
Right.
now, and, we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So, question number 2
we
comes
going
from Matty D. Crafty. Thoughts on the new rules this year with penalties for lineups and score sheets? And then follow-up thought on the free agent class. Is this the best free agent class we've ever seen? So first question, the new rules this year.
I think they've worked out because I think Tim, kind of planned it that way. It sucks for me and him and some of the other, Brett's been screwed a little bit too by it, but it has now gotten to the point where you can't, he had to drop Sitter, I had to drop Jeremiah because they're just question marks, and
Right.
being there is such a big thing this year.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing.
Yeah.
And if you can't commit to that, it's just we want these guys in our league still, and they might be signed up as Kermit players or something, but it's just hard to,
Right.
know.
My thing, and I've said this a ton of times on the podcast, and I think people have to take the time to understand that Tim has an idea in mind when he makes a move like this big. So what people see on the surface and what people think on the surface is never actually the case. So Tim's making penalties with lineups and for score sheets was an easy way for Tim to get owners to interact with their players. And this is what Tim wanted, is across the board, he wanted there to be more interaction between the owners taking responsibility for their teams and players needing to show. And enforcing these rules has shown what owners and what players in the league are willing to communicate and buy into what this league is about, which is getting people to show up and having fun and rewarding attendance. And that's exactly what's happened. You're right in that some people have been hurt by that because of various situations and taking risks. But I think that's what is fun about this league. And going forward, since this is going to be the precedent set, I think this year was the trial run where people didn't really know what to expect. Now going forward, I'm interested to see, and this is really early, but looking forward in the way too early for next year, I am so interested to see how owners draft next year.
Oh, and I think that goes into the second question. Is this the best free agent class ever?
Oh, absolutely.
You would have to say so.
There's
because
no
there's
way.
just so many. My thing is I think we have to raise the salary cap at least $5 next year.
Yeah.
Because the level of play, he averaged it about 30,
Right.
which is but still, that's you got your top end players,
Right.
but then you just what do you do? Do you just get all 30 all $30 players?
Yeah.
But that's the problem is, there's so many good players in this league that they're higher salary. So it's just a different thing. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many good. We had 2 more brothers come out. They were really good this week. The
Right.
Gerlachs, they were pretty good. And,
Yeah.
we've seen some good ones, some bad ones, but we've just had so many.
Yeah.
So it's been definitely a huge – I mean, without these free agents, my team is not what it is.
Right.
So
Yeah, this is without a question the best free agent class ever.
minus the year I was a free agent and never got signed. So
I mean, top to bottom, right now you've got just so much talent and influx, and it's good. This is holding people that have been comfortable in the league that think that, they don't have to come all the time and they don't have to play at a certain level accountable because these guys are good and they want to play and they will show up. So competition only makes
we had
things
to
better.
turn down somebody last week.
Yeah, we had to say no to somebody. So, sorry,
It's-
not sorry.
it's
That's
nice.
kind of what.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, but it's also got to get in on it,
Right, for sure. So
all right, so that's that one. Let's see. I think that was it for that.
Jared.
Who's the team to beat? Not the Badgers. Okay, next question.
Not the Badgers. Oh man.
I don't know. Who's the team to beat? It's still hard to tell for me
Yeah.
because there's 2 teams at 5-1. Yeah. Let's go look at the standings here. Yeah. Liners are 5-1. Badgers are 4-1. Sultans are 4-2. Sluggers are good, but they're 3-2.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of good. I think the top 5 teams are all really good.
Mm-hmm.
they can be beat.
Yep.
And that's a common thing you're seeing too, is like a lot of these teams, can be beat. There's weaknesses in every team.
Every team has a chink in their armor.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go up and down that list. Mine is the pitching from my 3 and 4. James and Justin, they throw strikes, but they don't throw hard enough. But when they throw strikes and we make plays,
that's all that you really need.
that's all we need.
But
so
still, but you see, like,
right.
that's why your record is good right now. And
Right,
that's
because
what I'm
James and
saying
Justin
is-
have thrown strikes and been able for us to make plays. The Badgers don't have a 4. The Clams don't have a 4. The Sultans 2 and 3 of John and Lucas have been playing below snub. And then for the 5th team, the Sluggers, they've had inconsistencies with who can show. So there's 1 through 5. Every single team has a chink in their armor. So team to beat. Can you ask me that question?
Any of those top 5, because if you look at the Sluggers, just have a good 1 through 4. If Prince shows up,
He hasn't.
they have 4.
Yep.
I know, and so do the Sultans. They have 4 people. Clams, Badgers do not, and the Liners have 4 people, but they, can be inconsistent.
Yep.
So it's just, I can't definitively say that, one team is the team to beat. The Badgers, they look good right now, but so do the Clams. I mean, even with all this trouble, they're still 4-1.
Right.
They were the top rated team for a reason.
Right. Yep.
So, even without Sitter on there.
Yeah.
And then, which team is in the best situation heading into expanded rosters? I think I don't know if you want to talk about that for a minute, but I think it has to do all about who has their 4 already and who doesn't.
Yeah. I think, in complete transparency, I think I'm in a good spot. Going
you
into
have 4, I think
I know.
so.
Yeah, I mean,
any team that has 4 players right now that
4.
are under salary,
right,
and you have just room to sign Kermit players.
right, equivalent to that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I have enough space to sign someone that can be up to $28. I have 4 guys that I know will show up the majority of the time. So, I think Jared and the Clams, depending on if they take penalty hits, could be in a tough spot this week.
They're running low on salary.
Yeah. The Sultans are in a decent spot. Sluggers are. Dusters are not.
They're in a real bad.
Marty
just got really screwed.
Yeah.
Because he just, like, every single person just wasn't. He shouldn't have traded away Luke Prince.
No.
I think that was kind of what hurt him.
Yeah.
If he would have kept Luke Prince, even if you see Robbie, he's still over salary.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he could have kept that lineup. He just wouldn't have been able to change anything.
Right. Exactly. So, I don't know, the best situation.
I say any team that has 4
Yeah.
is going to be in a really good
I agree.
spot.
I agree. Yep. For
That
sure.
would be, and that, like, the teams that don't would be the Narwhals, Clams, Badgers, and Dusters. I think are all those teams that are going to be they need somebody to fill out the roster, and they're going to need Kermit players. So, like, if you spend your time getting a 4th player,
Yeah.
Your waiver pick getting a 4th player over a Kermit who could be good, what's the drop off there? So that's going to be,
Right.
I think that's what's going to be, who's in the best spot is anyone that has 4.
Right.
Next up, Austin asks again, will Colin Peters be a trucker by the end of the season?
Not over Tim's dead body.
If Tim would have to stop playing wiffle ball, I think, and let Jack run the team there.
Right.
Just
Right. Right.
Oh man. Sorry, bud, but I don't think so.
No.
I don't know if he's gonna show up the rest of the year.
That was tough.
Oh man.
That was tough. But no. So we were gonna keep this one short.
Yeah.
We needed to do a quick update.
We talked a little.
What we're gonna do next week, we're gonna have a new segment for Going Corn. I think you guys are really gonna like it. We're gonna do a little bit more of an expanded view onto each team. We're going to give a little grade of where they're at and how they're doing. So be excited for that. We're going to get into some more detail with
News
teams.
to me.
Yeah, it is news to Greg.
Anyway.
So
All
be
right.
ready for that. Big day tomorrow. We'll keep you updated as we go throughout the week. So
All right. Sounds great. I will catch you on the flippity flop, and we'll see you next time on Going Corn.
see ya.